and sufficient food supply a matter of national security and has prioritized food security as a key factor in building national. Government is determined to pursue food security, and in March 2022 signed bilateral agreement in agriculture and fisheries with Vietnam to enhance public safety and security building. Government has commissioned 6 forward patrol bases for the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, border patrol duties, and is building 4 fire stations. Government has established the National Disaster Management Agency to respond faster to national emergencies and to recommend actions to mitigate such disasters. There is no recent history of terrorism in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone continues to contribute to various UN peacekeeping missions. Political violence has declined significantly, and occasional civil society or politically motivated protests have mostly remained peaceful. Incidents of kidnapping are extremely rare. Human rights situation. Madam Speaker, honorable members, the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone was established by Act of Parliament following recommendations from the Lome Peace Agreement of 1999 and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC, report of the 2004. As a signatory to the multi-human rights treaties, government seeks to provide access to justice for all. Laws have been introduced to address discrimination against women, girls, persons with disabilities, and other vulnerable groups. The report of Sierra Leone Human Rights Record, put together by a multi-sectoral group, was presented at Universal Periodic Review mechanism of the Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland. The report highlights the enormous efforts and steps taken by Sierra Leone to improve human rights. Government has pledged its commitment to addressing issues raised in the 2021 State of Human Rights report presented by Human Rights Commission in Sierra Leone. Several reforms are ongoing and are expected to promote the human rights situation in the country. Government is combating human trafficking and child marriage. The judiciary and state institutions are undertaking reforms. Access to justice has been expanded, and correctional facilities are being decongested. There are also no journalists in prison, and that Sierra Leone has progressed impressively on the World Press Freedom Index, moving 29 places from its 75th place in 2021 to 46th in 2022. The 2022 report published by Reporters Without Borders, Sans Frontières, Rapports Sans Frontières, recognizes that Sierra Leone's media sector is pluralistic and generally independent, and freedom of press is guaranteed by law. After the repeal of the seditious libel law, government has remained committed to deepening ongoing reforms in the media to achieve long-term viability and sustainability. The health situation. Madam Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone has made tremendous growth in the health sector. Providing access to quality and affordable health service is a responsibility government takes very seriously. In line with the universal health coverage goals, government has developed a new national health sector strategic plan and a health financing strategy, 2021 to 2025, that increases budgetary allocation for health and sanitation to 12% and has realigned the leadership and structure of health sector in order to maximize efficiency. Government has restructured and is working towards making the Sierra Leone Social Health Insurance Scheme operational. Government has provided health insurance for all health workers, regularized and strengthened the national drug distribution system, and expanded 3 healthcare services to school-going children, the elderly, and persons with disability. few weeks ago, 3 human cases of anthrax, an animal-based infectious disease caused by a spore-forming bacterium, were detected in Potloko, the northwest region of Sierra Leone. Anthrax can be deadly, but often it does not spread so easily if measures are put in place to curtail its outbreak. Humans infected through contacts with infected animals or by inhaling the spores. Symptoms of anthrax exposure include skin ulcer, nausea, vomiting, and fever. It can lead to death if left untreated. This is the first time Sierra Leone is experiencing an outbreak of anthrax after 28 years. Necessary modalities have been put in place by health authorities to curtail its spread. Madam Speaker, honorable members, considerable progress has been achieved in the fight against the coronavirus outbreak in Sierra Leone. From January to March 2022, the case fatality rate was reduced to 1.6%, and the country recorded only 608 new cases and no deaths, compared to 663 new cases and 2 deaths, and a case fatality rate of 1.7% in the last quarter of 2021. As reported earlier, as at 15th March 2021, when Sierra Leone launched the COVID-19 vaccination, days after receiving its first dose from COVAX facility and others through bilateral partnership, efforts are ongoing to increase vaccines uptake to reach a wider proportion of the population. Since the first shipment, Sierra Leone has so far received its first batch of COVID-19 vaccines through COVAX. Sierra Leone has received 3,418,690, with 68% from COVAX, 19% from African Vaccine Acquisition Trust, and 13% from bilateral deals and donations. Of the total doses received, 2.1 million have been administered, with around 20% of targeted population. 12 years and above have been fully vaccinated. Status of the implementation of community texts and protocols. Madam Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone has also made significant progress in the implementation of the community texts and protocols. Current status of community levy implementations. On the 25th June 2021, the government of Sierra Leone paid community levy arrears to the ECOWAS Commission to the tune of 44.416.734.323.50 billion leones, equivalent to $4.284.910 US. Sorry. The ECOWAS Commission Community Levy Assessment Mission visited Sierra Leone from the 21st to the 25th February 2022 in order to evaluate Sierra Leone's compliance with the tenets of the community levy protocol implementation. The mission was very pleased with the country's compliance level. Current status of the ratification of ECOWAS protocols and conventions. Sierra Leone has ratified 42 protocols out of 54. There are 12 protocols that are yet to be ratified. Inasmuch as the implementing MDAs face challenges, these MDAs remain committed to the ratification process. The ECOWAS National Office has been constructively engaging the responsible ministries, departments, and agencies, the MDAs, to ensure that the ratification and domestication of the community texts are completed before the end of 2022. Status of the implementation of community programs and projects. Madam Speaker, honorable members, government has fully implemented the Abidjan Free Roaming Protocol that has eased communication between Sierra Leone and some West African countries. Sierra Leone will gain fully Sierra Leone will again fully implement the ECOWAS roaming protocol, which will ensure that calls are made at the local rate without having to change or buy SIM cards or pay roaming charges for the first 1 month. It is not continuous, it's just 1 month. This is born to promote an integrated ICT market, borderless communication, and cohabitation. Domestic economic growth. Madam Speaker, honorable members, the domestic economy was initially projected to recover by 3.2%, yet downgraded to 2.9% in 2021, compared to the contraction of 2.0% in 2020. The reverse growth projection is due to the uncertainties surrounding the mining sector owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, non-mining growth sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, transport, and trade are expected to support growth through the implementation of government diversification policies to boost economic activities. Domestic inflation. Madam Speaker, honorable members, inflationary pressures persisted in the 3 quarters of 2021 as headline inflation recorded on an uptick of 17.94% in December 2021 from 10.45% in December 2020, reflecting the uncertainty associated with the COVID-19. This includes the disruption in global supply chain, high freight charges, depreciation of exchange rate. Similarly, both food and non-food inflation edged up during the review period. In order to mitigate the effort of inflationary pressure and give support to government's recovery program, the Bank of Sierra Leone implemented the second phase of the special credit facility with the injection of 5 billion loans at 5% increase rate in March 2020. The bank also credited 100 billion loans agricultural credit facilities to support the agricultural sector. Furthermore, the Statistics Sierra Leone rebased consumer price index basket from 2008 to 2021. Headlines inflation moderated to 16.64% in January 2022, driven mainly by decline in food inflation, owing to the boom in the harvest of domestic food production, while non-food production increased during the review period. Nevertheless, the risk to inflationary pressure it elevates partly due to global uncertainties, increase in international commodity prices, especially oil price, and geopolitical tension, that is war between Russia and Ukraine, that resulted in the upward adjustment of the fuel pump price. Headline inflation increase in both food and non-food inflation. Fiscal developments. Madam Speaker, honorable members, provisional data indicates government fiscal operations in 2021 were exemplary as deficit widened from 2.283.85 billion loans in 2020 to 7.390.71 billion loans in 2021. The widened deficit ensued for the expansion in government expenditure and net lending, which more than overweights the increase in government revenue and grants during the review period. Total government revenue and grants collected expanded from 7.809.22 billion loans in 2020 to 8.922.75 billion loans in 2021. The expansion in total government revenue was mainly attributed to increase in domestic revenue mobilization, while foreign grants received contracts during the review period. Domestic revenue mobilization increased from 5.506.68 billion loans in 2020 to 6.893.05 billion loans in 2021. On the other hand, foreign grants received contracts from 2.302.53 billion loans in 2020 to 2.099.70 billion loans in 2021. Government expenditure net lending expanded from 10.09.07 billion loans in 2020 to 11.383.46 billion loans in 2021, which was due to the increase in both recurrent and development expenditure. External sectors. Madam Speaker, honorable members, in 2021, exchange rates dynamics were relatively stable up to Q3. Thereafter, pressures from exchange rate dynamics heightened in Q4 2021, indicating decline in foreign exchange inflows, with attendant surge in high demand for importation of essential commodities. Looking ahead, exchange rates pressure are expected to be moderated in the medium term, underpinned by anticipated increase in export earnings, remittance, foreign direct investments, and inflows from development. Gross foreign exchange reserves rose to $931.76 million in December 2021, relative to $677.21 million in December 2020. This increase was largely driven by a mixture of inflows with regards to aid disbursement and balance of payment support from development partners. The gross foreign external reserves level is still above the required threshold of the 3 months of import cover. Furthermore, trade deficit widened in December 2021 to $1.07 billion US dollars, relative to a deficit of $0.96 billion in December 2020. Assessment of microeconomic and convergence criteria. Madam Speaker, honorable members, performance of the primary convergence remained the same in 2021 as was in 2020, satisfying the gross external reserves. Out of the 4 primary criteria, the country did not meet the annual average inflation, central bank financing, and the fiscal deficit criteria. With respect to the secondary convergence criteria, the country met the nominal exchange rate variation but missed the public debt to GDP criterion. Primary convergence criteria. See table as stated. The source is from the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Sierra Leone. Secondary criteria. See table as stated. Source, the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Sierra Leone. Note, the country met the nominal exchange rates variation criterion in the review period. The nominal exchange rate variation stood at 9.2% as at end December 2021, which was within the threshold of 10%. The Protocol on Free Movement of People and Goods. Madam Speaker, honorable members, the laws concerning the setting up of businesses continue to apply equally to nationals and community citizens. The country has commenced the process for the issuance of ECOWAS biometric identity card through the Office of the National Civil Aviation, NACRA. The construction of a joint border post between Sierra Leone and Liberia, with funds provided by ECOWAS, is underway. This will help to reduce the number of stops and will foster free movement of persons, goods, and services to facilitate the materialization of economic integration. Supplementary Act on Equality of Rights between Women and Men for Sustainable Development in the ECOWAS region. Sorry, I must. Thank you. This is dear to my heart. Madam Speaker, honorable members, the government of Sierra Leone is committed to the achievement of gender equality and women's empowerment. Gender equality and women's empowerment are not merely stated goals. We understand gender equality to be tied to the future and fortune of our nation. There can be no true development if our women are not freely equal. Government's goal of promoting development, tackling poverty, and entrenching good governance cannot be met without the full and free participation of our great women in the nation. Through the National Microfinance Program, MUNAFA, the SMEs, which 70% are female-owned, have access funds which will significantly help to empower women. With gender firmly on the agenda, the government has commenced gender mainstreaming in MDAs to facilitate the integration of gender issues with sectoral policies, plans, and programs to ensure internal gender beneficiary targeting most significantly. The government has developed the Gender Equality of Women's Empowerment Bill to improve women's political and economic empowerment. The bill has been laid in Parliament, among other things. The bill will mandate that 30% of seats in Sierra Leone's 146 seats Parliament will be occupied by women, as well as 30% of appointive positions, including cabinet posts. The bill also aims to improve women's access to finance and to link government spending to improving gender equality. It is not immediately clear when lawmakers will vote. They are waiting for me on the bill. As in many other West African countries, women are poorly represented in Sierra Leone politics. There are currently 19 female MPs in Parliament, representing about 13% of the total number of 146. There are currently 4 female ministers of government, representing about 14% of the total number of 29 ministers of government, and 6 female deputy ministers, representing about 21% of total number of 28 deputy ministers. Strategic government policy interventions towards gender and women empowerment, including the establishment of a separate government ministry for gender and children's affairs in 2021, and the creation of sexual and gender-based violence toll-free hotline 116 to provide counseling and referral services to the GBV survivors. Rainbow centers for GBV cases have been established in 6 districts to provide psychosocial support and free medical examination and treatment for survivors. The Sexual Offences Act 2012 was reversed, and new Sexual Offences Amendment Act was enacted since 2021. At least 2,515 survivors of GBV have been provided with response services at the Rainbow Centers. Environment and climate situation. Madam Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone is subdivided into 5 administrative regions: Northwest, North, South, East, and West, and into 16 districts. The country is richly endowed with natural resources, including forests, wildlife, fisheries, land, and minerals. The protection of our environment is not just for aesthetics or economic reasons, but our survival as humans depend on the way we take care of our environment. While protecting the environment is our collective responsibility, it is certainly the duty of governments and nations to lead and take charge. Government of Sierra Leone remains committed to the sustainable management of forest resources and promoting sustainable environment protection. Plans are underway to plant over 5 million trees in the next 5 years. Through grants from partners like Global Environmental Facility, government is strengthening the country's institutional and technical capacity to implement the Paris Climate Agreement. Government has installed 4 marine weather stations that are saving the lives of fishermen, sea transport workers, and coastal settlers. National appropriate mitigation action have been developed. Protected area management procedure have been enhanced, and ecosystem conservation system and procedures have been put in place. There are growing incidents of pollution of water bodies, deforestation of forest reserves, national parks and water catchment areas, illegal fishing and other maritime violations, illegal sand and stone mining, illegal garbage disposal, and poor management of municipal wastes. As a result, Sierra Leone continues to be prone to disaster, such as fire outbreaks, floods, mudslide, windstorms, unusually heavy rains. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone remains committed to the implementation of the community texts and protocols. As our country continues to make frantic efforts to meet all the convergence criteria, rest assured of our delegation's support and cooperation in our collective efforts to move the regional body from an ECOWAS of nations to a fully integrated ECOWAS of the people. Thank you. Merci. Obrigado.
Merci, chers collègues.
Thank you, dear colleague. We have listened to the country report of Sierra Leone, and the debates open. Okay, I can see honorable member at the back, Honorable Olujimi.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and colleagues. I just want to commend and appreciate the Sierra Leone delegation for a job well done. The document is very clear and speaks to all the issues, and I believe they've really done justice to all the items. However, I am worried about the next elections, which is next year. If they have this poorly arranged method of getting women into government, what are they doing specifically to ensure that women are represented in the next elections? I believe if we do this, there will be a pointer to every other ECOWAS state, especially Nigeria, where we really have not designed anything to include more women in political participation. On the whole, I believe this is a good document and deserves to be adopted. Thank you very much.
Merci, cher.
Thank you very much, dear colleague, Honorable Riga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Sierra Leone has presented a very comprehensive report on the situation of that country. Couple of months ago, there was a petrol tank explosion which led to loss of lives. It was quite a disaster that we all heard of. I stepped out a bit. I don't know if this was captured and how the country is grappling with the loss of lives and injuries caused to many of the citizens who were affected by this gas explosion. What has been done by the government so far to address the plight of the victims of this explosion? Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I am a close observer of Sierra Leone, and they have made significant strides both in the area of governance and in the management of their economy. And I can attest to the very peaceful nature of Sierra Leone. Very peaceful, madam. You can drive from one end of the country to the other end of the country, and it is absolutely peaceful, very low crime rates, and we must all commend Sierra Leone for the effort that they are making. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Merci, cher collègue.
Thank you, dear colleague. Honorable Agbandao, you have the floor. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like to congratulate the colleague from Sierra Leone for this comprehensive report. I'm going to be very brief. I'd like to know what has been done for the youth in this country, going by the sober past of the country and the war. And so I'd like to know what has been done for the youth and what is the current unemployment rate and what steps have been taken by the country to address this unemployment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Collègue honorable Djibo.
Thank you, dear colleague, Honorable Djibo. Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker. Congratulations to Honorable Veronica for the presentation of the report. I'm not really going to get into too many details. I would like to make a comment. It seems that in Sierra Leone, women are not sufficiently respected. According to the report, if we analyze it, it seems that there is a lot of gender-based violence against women. And I was really a bit struck by a word on page 14 on relating to women, where in the last paragraph they said, no true development can take place if our women are not free and equal. Why free? Why the reference to free? Why is it that women are not free in Sierra Leone? That word seems to me to be really meaningful in this report. Thank you, Madam. I rest my case. Thank you, Honorable Njai Fatumata.
Madam Speaker, I would also join my colleagues in applauding the country Sierra Leone for a brilliant report. My concern is page 13, where it says that the bill has been laid in Parliament amongst other things, but they are not sure when it will be passed. This report really illustrates the importance given to women empowerment and female representation. If that assertion is genuine, then my honorable colleagues would be able to tell us why they are not sure when the bill will be passed. Is it at the discretion of the leadership to include it in the agenda, or I think it is a cause for concern? If they are genuinely empowering women, they should ensure that before this coming election, this bill will be passed and be effective, so that at least they would have the required number of women representation in the Parliament and at Cabinet. Thank you.
Merci.
Thank you, Honorable Samson Ari.
Much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity once again. Madam Speaker, as we speak, there is a bill before Parliament in Sierra Leone seeking to amend the elections of MPs into Parliament. That is moving away from the constituencies to allocation of seats to political parties based on the votes. When that happens, it will deny people who want to go to Parliament but don't belong to any political party which hitherto will have contested as an independent candidate. This report is silent on it. I was expecting to see it in the political situation briefing. Can our colleagues throw light on this? What is the status of that bill and the rationale behind the bill? Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ajafata Serion.
The Speaker, for giving me the floor. For me, I just want to thank the presenter and our mother. I just want to tell them thank you and the people of Sierra Leone. But again, my concern had to deal with the bill also. I just want to encourage them, the parliament, their delegation, that when they get back, they'll be able to encourage those men to pass the bill quick before election, because if that not happen, I doubt that their good view will be heard, or those women who want to participate in this process will be able to participate. There are good plans, but if you don't put a plan in place, it will not work. So I want to encourage you people and representatives and delegation here for you people to make sure to convince the parliament, the parliamentarians in Sierra Leone to please pass this bill so our women then can get a 30%. And also the political party, because if this bill is not passed, they will agree with you that they will do it. At the same time, they will put somebody, they will put one woman and put somebody under hand that they will be supporting, one male under hand that they will be supporting. So I want you people to check that clearly. Wheresoever, if the bill is passed, when they put a woman candidate in the district, in the constituency, they should not put any males candidate against that woman. That's the only way I believe that the 30% will be achieved. So thank you very much for your detailed presentation. Thank you.
Merci.
Thank you, dear colleague. The delegation, Sierra Leone, has the floor to answer the questions raised from the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. One comment was about the poorly arranged methods of getting women represented in Parliament. For us, we believe that Sierra Leone has done well in that direction. As I speak, the gender empowerment bill is before Parliament, and the bill on electoral reforms before the 2023 is being discussed in Parliament. When we say we do not know when the bill will be approved, does not mean it is not going to be approved. It's before Parliament, and it is good that it's before Parliament. So MPs are very busy discussing it. There have been different opinions. The debate is getting very exciting. Some people believe that we should have the 30% quota. There should be safe seats for women. Certain constituencies should be reserved for women. Others are saying that we should have special seats for women. In Sierra Leone, we have got paramount chiefs who are traditional leaders in Parliament. Each district elects one paramount chief. Some people are saying, why can't we have women representing the 16 districts? We can have one district representing, being represented by one woman. There will be only women candidates, but all the men and women will vote for that woman. That will bring 16 women to Parliament, and remaining seats, we can all go for the remaining seats. Or we may even have, based on the size of the district, some districts electing more than one woman to come to Parliament. That is one belief. Some are saying, no, let's have the safe seats where there will only be female candidates But some men are saying, but why, in the process of empowering the women, why should we discriminate against the men? And even some women are even against that, because we have men that have wives. You know, the wives may not want anything that may discriminate against the men. So some are saying, why can't we have a system where we can have total support for both men and women? That is one debate. So we are on course. The process has started, and the bill is being discussed, and the president is very serious about it. I am an independent MP. I do not belong to any political party, so I'm saying what I know. Then we had Nigeria did not achieve that. We had expected to learn from Big Brother Nigeria, but perhaps they will learn from us. Then we go to the explosion. My brother asked, how is country coping? What has been done for the victims? We know that a lot of resources were mobilized to help the victims and their families. We know government did a lot, and some other partners came in to help. So we unfortunately, all of us here are from the provinces, from the rural areas. That doesn't mean we should not know, but we will get more information for this parliament in our next report. What has been done for the youth? Unemployment is a very serious problem. In Sierra Leone, if you consider the active labor force, it's about 4.6%. Government is making efforts. We've got the National Youth Service Scheme that is being developed. A lot of young people are coming into it. The number of scholarships, what we call grants in aids, allocated to every district has been increased to ensure that more young people get access to university education. And we have passed into law the student loan scheme. So we expect more young people, especially those from very poor families, to benefit from the loan scheme, that will ensure that they enter universities and complete their education. At the moment, we have a lot of Sierra Leoneans, young people that cannot go to college, or that cannot go to tertiary institution to pursue higher education or to gain skills because of financial constraints. We think that is a very good step in the right direction. We hope the government will work to make sure that that scheme is functional. Women are not sufficiently respected. No, I don't think so. Vero has presented the report twice, more than any member of our delegation. So we respect our women. So somebody said there was something indicated that if our women are not free or equal, that does not mean the women are not free or equal. That is our guideline, that is our principle. For any society to progress, for any country to achieve sustainable development, we must take care of our women. Sheikh Couture said, if you want to know the condition of a country, you don't need to go there. Just look at the condition of the women. If the condition of the women are backward, that country will be backward. So we think our women should be free and equal. So that is a guiding principle. That does not say women are not free in Sierra Leone. No. We respect women. When will the bill be passed? Of course, it's a process. Only a 14 teller, even the 40 teller cannot say it will be passed tomorrow. The process is on, and we hope it will be passed before the next election. We have all agreed. What we have not agreed on is how do we achieve the 30%. That is where the debate is. What is the rationale behind where I will stop here and allow Vero to come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank my colleagues who have given their own views and who have applauded us. We want to say thank you. I will go straight to the women's issue. Talking about the 30%. The good thing in Sierra Leone is there is a political will. The president is supporting that, and if the head of an institution, where all of you support or all of you give the respect, is supporting that particular thing, I think it's home and dry. Although there will be some amount of small shake-ups, because it is not easy in a male-dominated to say, you male, go and sit down, let a woman come. But we are vulnerable. We continue with the sensitization. The bill is being laid, correct? The bill is being laid, and it is now in the order paper. We have a procedure that all the bills that are going to be done in a particular session, they put it so that you start to copy study the particular document. So we are fine. It is already there. And I will assure you, the next report that we'll read will tell you that we have already achieved the 30%. It is not easy now, because some men will say this or that, but we always tell them, and there are some he for she men there. They know it, they feel it, they just don't want to accept it. They know behind any successful woman, any successful man, there are women. And any successful government, there are women. And we are there, we are very strong, the respect is there. When we spoke about free, the free in the sense is not that we are not free to move, we are free to do everything. But the position is the ratio at which women are given these free hands. Free elections. Of course, my party, the ruling party, we have a policy there that women don't pay their candidature fee. So women will go there, but that notwithstanding, you cannot pay the candidature fee, but if you go down there, you'll be stopped because you don't have money to pursue. So that is why we are crying for this 30%. But we are free. Nobody is harassing us. Although, you know, the rate at which the rape cases, we are going ahead, you know, but we tried, our president has the passion for women. We have passed that. Anybody whom is convicted to be a rapist, you will face or forget your birthday, because they will make sure they deal with you according to law. So we are very free. Nobody is harassing any woman there, because the women's organization are very strong, and the 19 of us in parliament are very strong also. Not that we are challenging the men, but we are with them side by side. We tell them behind any good politics is more women. So we always tell them that. And also, my brother from Ghana talked about the PR system. Why we did not mention it? Because it has not yet been confirmed. It has not yet been confirmed, but I came under PR system. It's cost effective. There will be no fight, because even as we are talking, there's by-election, fighting, killing, or, you know, wounding, and all the rest. It will happen. It is common. So, but if there is a PR system, nobody, your name is sequenced. When your name comes, and then if a person dies, because we will not pray let somebody die, but if you die or you are absent, or you are being given another appointed positions, then the other person will come up. That is the PR system. The PR system. And also we see to it that we, the women, I think we will face opportunity, because if there is a PR system, there is tendency in making the list that women will be seen in that particular thing. So if we pass the gender bill, there are clauses that ask the political parties to make sure they send their list, and there should be 30% of women representation. The PPRC is there to check, to see how many women are there. So I think the PR system, to me, I prefer the PR system, because there will be no fight. And you will go to your constituency, you are representing your constituency, but your district is nominating you, so we don't fear that one. So with all this put together, and with all your interventions and the youth you have heard from my colleague, there is a youth farm. This SMEs is more of youth. This Munafa fund that they give, they are not specifying that you are aged, you are this, you are that. We give to youth. We encourage them. There is a loan scheme. There are so many things that is being done. Initially, you will see boys passing around, say, you bobo there, or you titi there. It's no longer happening, because we make sure we tell them, we sensitize them, we call them to our various offices and tell them the roles of what we are expecting of them. So that is what we are doing. Thank you very much for the questions. I think we have answered most of the questions. I don't know if you have any other thing to say. Thank you very much.
Merci, chers collègues.
Thank you, dear colleagues. Thank you for the answers, which I hope will be found satisfactory by those who table them. So I submit for approval the report from Sierra Leone. The report is hereby adopted. Dear colleagues, we are now going to continue with the interactive sessions. Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, might I suggest, it's 2:20. I would suggest that we adjourn at this point, that we go for lunch, and then at 3:30 we come back. We resume. Thank you. Thank you for the proposal. And I submit it for approval by plenary. Let me remove my glasses so that I can see very well what is happening. Well, it's really mixed feelings. Is there a consensus on it? It's not clear. Are we going to adjourn, go for lunch, and come back? Are we going to do that? Let me start on my right. Who is in agreement? The majority. What about here on my left? On my left. I think that there is a consensus. We have a consensus on it. Now let us see with the program of speakers. All right, meeting is now adjourned, stands adjourned.
Nous reprenons.
I will resume at 3:30. We'll be back at 3:30. 3:30, please.
So we have
question, Madam President.